What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com, and I'm really excited to be diving in today's topic because we're going to be talking all about gratitude. And, when it comes to developing somebody that has a better mindset, right? A better mindset equals to more confidence, more discipline, just overall better quality of a life. It's because they're focusing on their mindset. And gratitude is the first mindset habit that we like to go over on at Heartletics. And hands down, if you start implementing the things that we're going to talk about in today's presentation, I promise you, your life will change. Here's going to be the topic overview for today. We're going to be diving into gratitude and your health. Because obviously, especially if you're somebody that doesn't know this, your mindset, your mental health is way more important than your physical health. Let me repeat that one more time. Your mindset, your mental health is way more important than your physical health. This thing up here, right, will unlock new careers, will unlock new dreams, will unlock your greatest, fullest potential, right? Once you start developing this. And once again, it's not exactly an easy thing. It's not like everybody in the world is all of a sudden just, meditating and practice gratitude and they're caring about others rather than caring. No. It's a work, right? It's not like all of a sudden, like overnight, you master this. No, with anything in life, it takes practice. Even somebody, that's, let's say they're a monk, right? That meditates every single day. Guess what? They're still practicing, right? They could have been, off into the Himalayan mountains for 30 years, right? And just doing meditations. But guess what? Like, they're still practicing. It's not like they ever think like, oh, I got this in the bag. No. And that's why this is a habit. Just like with anything that we go over at Heartletics is, hey, how can we help you create better habits, right? Not just physical habits, but obviously mental habits as well that we're going to go over here in a little bit. We're going to dive into gratitude exercises, okay? What I realize here in terms of what works best for our members at Heartletics is understanding that with any mindset, and hear me out, right? This is a big disclaimer. With any mindset habit or any mindset technique, there is not a one size fits all, plain and simple. Cardio, right? Just like the physical, some people like to run, some people like to do sprints, some people like to do hit interval training. Other people like myself, I just like to walk. I just like to get 10,000 steps and that's it. Some days I might run, right? Some days most of the days I should say, I like just going for a walk in the park, right? That's it. So it's like, regardless, you're getting that checkbox, right? You're accomplishing something. You're just figuring out what works best for you, right? That you can be consistent with over time. And so we're going to go over some different gratitude exercises to kind of help you out with that. And then lastly, tips for success. Because at the end of the day, making a complete mindset shift, it's a work in progress, right? Don't think this is going to happen overnight. Don't think this is going to happen in the next, several weeks where all of a sudden you're a completely changed person. No, it's something where it takes time. But every single day, it's an opportunity for you to mold and enhance your craft, so to speak, right? And what is your craft? What is your project? It's you. And that's what makes Heartletics so great in terms of what we do here is, hey, how can we help you work on your project yourself? Not just the physical body with the physical habits, but mentally as well with the mindset habits. So think in terms of that. So we're going to be going over some great tips for success for you. Now, before we do a deep dive into gratitude, I quickly want to just go over the overview of Heartletics. And you can see on here, the whole foundation is really helping out with our members create better habits for themselves. Most of the time, right, people lack the knowledge, meaning like they don't know how to eat properly. They don't know how to train properly for their body type, their goals, everything like that. They lack the knowledge, right? But in order to create a habit, you can't just have the knowledge because sure, knowledge is power, but I like to say it like this. If you're not actually using that knowledge, what good is that power, right? You have to put it to use. You have to take action. And this is where people get so stuck about into why they don't progress, why they don't actually have success at reaching their goals is because they don't know how to fit that knowledge into their lifestyle. And once you're able to fit in the knowledge of knowing what to do, and then the lifestyle of how to do it to best fit in with your life, right? Occupation, family life, everything like that. That's where it formulates these habits. Now, here's just a quick rundown on these 7 physical habits that we like to go over at Heartletics, right? Calories specifically for your goals, macros, which stands for macronutrients, the strength training, whether that's at the gym or at home. 4 is the NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or just trying to be more active, trying to just get a little bit more movement in. 5th is the hydration, which is very important, as well as 6, the stress management. And then 7, lastly, is the recovery. So now here's the bigger picture in terms of what we try our best to focus on at Heartletics. And that's combining those physical habits, but also with the mental habits. If you remember before, right, knowledge, it's great to have, but at the same time, if you don't know how to fit that in best with your lifestyle, you're never going to create habits. Well, hey, at the end of the day, if you're only training your, let's say, physical body, but never training your mindset, you're never going to become the best version of yourself. And this image right here is exactly why we should focus on each and every day becoming the best version of ourselves. Because, hey, when you're able to fill up your cup, right, and devote to some physical habits and some mental habits to really just helping you have a completely different outlook in life, you're able to pour more out into, let's say, your family, your career, relationships, all different aspects. Why? Because you're focusing on filling up your cup. And unfortunately, most people, they don't ever fill up their cups. And that's why they run dry, right? They're more of a liability rather than an asset. Maybe they have bad health, maybe they have, depression, bad mental state, whatever the case may be. But regardless, I mean, it's kind of like a sponge. If you're never pouring yourself in, right, how can you rinse out into others? So it's just like, what else runs dry? Well, hey, so does your family, so does your career, so does your relationships. Here are the list of the 7 mental habits that we like to go over at Heartletics. And first one's gratitude. Because guess what? That's the foundation. And just similar to calories being with the top of the 7 physical habits, well, think about it like this. You could be working out, focusing on progressive overload, hitting your protein goal, getting all these steps in, drinking all this water, right? Everything's great. But if let's just say that you're 5,000 calories over than your, 2,000 calorie limit, it doesn't matter what you're doing with all the other habits, you're never going to get the results you're looking for. Very similar when it comes to these mental habits. Gratitude is the cornerstone. It is the foundation. It is the building block that kind of sets up you for having success with all the other mental habits. So the second one going down the list here is self-reflection. And let me just say this. This list right here, just as I mentioned earlier, it's personalized for you. It's not one size fits all by any means. Somebody else might have a different, what resonates with them the most when it comes to self-reflection or gratitude compared to somebody else. And that's perfectly fine. Once again, there's not a one size fits all. The third mindset habit is gaining knowledge. Then we have declaration. Then we have meditation, comfort zone, and obviously, lastly, the winner's circle. And I will do a deep dive going into all these other different mental habits as we progress. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. And I can't stress this enough. And this is why I'm a firm believer that when you start practicing some of the different mindset and gratitude exercises that we're going to go over here in a little bit, your life will change hands down. I mean, honestly, you could be somebody that is just hating your life right now. You could be overweight. You could be, on all these different medications. You could be lacking energy and confidence, just hating your life. But regardless, you woke up today. You did. Somebody didn't, unfortunately. How many times have you woke up today and just said, thank you? That's it. I'm truly grateful, right, to be alive today. How many times have you said that? You might be hating your job because you don't get paid enough and, you hate your boss and whatever the case may be. But have you ever stopped and just said, I'm thankful to have a job, regardless of the conditions, and I'm not really liking my boss. It's a job that pays the bills. I'm thankful for it. What about, let's just say, paying the bills? I mean, honestly, I'll use myself for example. Way back in the day, honestly, I don't like paying bills at all because I'm like, hey, that's my hard-earned money, especially taxes. Who wants to pay taxes, right? It's like, that's my hard-earned money. Why do I have to give it back? The mortgage, right? Is anybody really happy when they have to pay the mortgage bill, every single month? I know for a fact, right? It stings, right? Seeing the money come taken out of the account. But here's the thing. This is why, gratitude really does turn everything into what we have into enough. That way we don't have to be so focused on, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because in today's society, that's what everybody's focused on, right? Remember, Amazon Prime, you can get it tomorrow, right? There's, fast food, all these different grocery stores, DoorDash, Uber Eats, click of a button, boom, you got it. But keep this in mind, right? Gratitude turns what we have into enough. So what does that mean? Well, hey, the next time that you get your mortgage statement in and you have to pay the bill, right? It's not fun by any means, but think about this, right? Like, how many times have you really took a step back and said, I'm thankful to pay these bills. I'm thankful to pay this mortgage. Because guess what? I live in a great community, right? I love my neighbors, a great area. I got the park right there. Stores are within a few miles away. Hey, you know what? I'm grateful. Because I know for a fact, it stings, right? Submitting over the payment, for my mortgage every month. But guess what? I'm very grateful to be living in this community, in this house. Instead of, let's say, living underneath, trying to raise a family into an environment where it's not safe. Let's say for your health and fitness goals. Sure, maybe you're not there yet, but who knows? Maybe you're already down a few pounds. Maybe you have more energy. Maybe you have more confidence. How often are you grateful for that? Sure, I didn't lose 10 pounds this week, but guess what? I lost a pound. Let's go, right? It's once again, when you start focusing on just embracing, gratitude and some of the other, mindset habits that we go over, your life will change. Now, to put things on a different perspective in terms of how your life can change, here are actual benefits, right, of just embracing more gratitude and how you can see that this helps you with your physical habits as well. So, for starters, number one, it improves the quality of your sleep. And obviously, right, sleep is very, very important. You could be doing all the right things, right? Training hard, the right nutrition. But if you're not sleeping enough and you're underneath all this stress and you're, high amounts of cortisol, you're only making it 10 times harder for yourself. So just being a little bit more mindful, practicing gratitude, who knows, maybe that can help you out with the quality of your sleep. The second is decreases blood pressure. Think about that. We know a lot of guys that struggle with blood pressure, Gratitude, though. Once again, just the simplest things, when it comes to working on this. It increases your energy levels. It reduces stress and depression. Helps you live longer. Plain and simple. How to show gratitude? Well, hey, you can also give out compliments to others. That's a great indication of, showing gratitude. Make a list of the things that you're grateful for. And that is a little bit in terms of what we're going to be going over when it comes to the different exercises and how to specifically do that. You can volunteer in your community. You can do small random acts of kindness, and you can also smile more. Look it up that you actually burn more calories when you just smile more rather than just hold a steady face or if you're frowning. But what happens when you smile to somebody else? They typically smile back. So that right there is you filling up your cup. You're deciding to smile, right? You're smiling at somebody, and now you're able to fill up their cup. Because guess what? You're showing that gratitude to them. They can then also smile. And essentially, you're helping them lose more body fat because they're burning more calories. But when it comes to the overall picture in terms of benefits of gratitude, the list goes on and on. I cannot say that enough. It's never ending when it comes to the benefits of somebody focusing on just being more grateful. You can see in here about being happier, having more energy, being more resilient, having stronger, healthier relationships with your loved ones, boost of motivation and performance, but also just builds character. It's that self-identity, that self-journey of figuring out, how to really become the best version of yourself physically, but also mentally as well. So the first gratitude exercise that we have up is journaling. And remember, right, it's not a one-size-fits-all by any means. This could be you just mapping out some things that you're grateful for. This could be you scripting and writing out, let's say, a paragraph or some things that you're grateful for, or just self-reflecting of, even thinking about, man, I had some curveballs, I had some adversity, and I'm just happy that, there was a blessing in despite of that storm that I was in, because that's what led me to where I am today. So it's just this collectiveness of, okay, we have all these thoughts in our head and our heart in terms of what we have going on for us and, being more grateful. How can we just map that out? Whether it's bullet points, whether it's just writing stuff out in forms of like paragraphs, It's not a one size fits all by any means. It's just whatever makes you feel better. And what do I mean by feeling better? Well, hey, when you're truly grateful for your life, you're a lot more positive. You're a lot more of a expressing more love and, compassion for others. That's what we're after here, is getting that sense of feeling. The second is a gratitude walk. And I love this one because you can literally combine the NEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, into this gratitude walk right here. And now you're hitting, two birds with one stone, so to speak. So with the gratitude walk, I do this all the time. I love it. I'll just walk to the park and, it just depends. Maybe I got my headphones in, some lo-fi beats, so there's no lyrics. And I'm just literally just thinking about the things that, I'm grateful for. Even the things that I personally don't own, right? So when I'm walking in a park and it's a beautiful day, I'm grateful for the nature. I'm grateful for the lake. I'm grateful for all these different things, right? And it's just that time to embrace man, this is great, There's other things where if I'm going for a walk, right, I might be thinking about my business. I might be thinking about the members. I might be thinking about my family. I might be thinking about, something that maybe I learned at church, whatever the case may be. But regardless, I'm focused for that set time, the walk, I'm not on my phone. I'm not on social media. I'm not listening to a podcast or some lyrics. It's no, I'm making it intentional for that walk that I'm going to focus on what it is that I'm grateful for. And then the last, and I love this one, hard to do, but I love this one, is a thankful tour. And how you do this one, it's very easy in sense of time commitment, but very hard to do in sense of just being tired. So you wake up, right? You don't leave the bed. And I guess if you want to leave the bed, you can and kind of just sit. You put your feet on the floor and sit on the edge of the bed. I guess you can do that. That might actually be helpful now that I'm thinking about it, so that way you don't fall back asleep. But what you want to do is do what's called a thankful tour. And this is where you're either, sitting in your bed or laying in your bed. And this is where you keep your eyes closed, but you're visualizing. So what's nice about this is you're practicing the form of visualization as well. So what you're doing is just you're sitting there, your eyes are closed, you're thinking. And you're thinking about yourself being in bed and just think about the things that's around you. And what you want to do is just try to pick 5 things as your eyes are closed that you're grateful for. And once again, try to get creative with it. Maybe one day you're focused on these set 5 things. Maybe on the next day it's some other things. To where you get it, where it's okay, hey, I'm grateful for the clothes in my closet. I'm grateful for, the TV that's in our bedroom. I'm grateful for the pictures, right? I'm grateful for the sheets, all these different things. And then guess what? After you picked out the 5 things that you're grateful for, mentally, so your eyes are still closed, mentally walk to the next room in your house. So for me, that's my son's room. So it's I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for, his clothes, because obviously, hey, he needs clothes to go to school. I'm grateful for his toys. I'm grateful for all his little arts and crafts that he's done. And then, hey, the next room after we did our 5. Next thing you know, I'm in the bathroom. Let me just say this. When was the last time you were ever grateful for toilet paper? Think about it. That's what I mean by gratitude being the foundation that sets everything up for success in your life. Because we take for granted so many things, like toilet paper, toothbrush, toothpaste, different aspects of that. So the gratitude, it just helps out tremendously with keep in mind what you already have right now going for you, And with this thankful tour, it just really helps put things in a different perspective. And don't get married on, okay, hey, I'm only doing journaling. That's all I'm sticking with. It's no, some days journal, some days do a gratitude walk, some days do a thankful tour, some days do something else that just makes you feel more, once again, grateful for the things that you have. That's the importance of all this. But I would say, anywhere from 10 to maybe 30 minutes a day where it's this time where you can devote to just thinking about the things that's, going on for you right now in your life and the things that we appreciate. That's what we're after here. That's why this exercise really helps you and kind of just changes everything with your perspective on life. Because once again, you start looking at the glass being half full rather than half empty. And it's all because you're focusing on looking for the things that you already have going on right now in your life. That's gratitude. Just a quick little recap into terms of what we learned today. For starters, gratitude in your health. It's not just your mental health that gratitude helps out with, but it's your overall health, right? So that's your physical health as well. Second, we did a deep dive into the different gratitude exercises. Remember, just 3 different ones that you can try out and test, but regardless, and this is the big tip for success that I want you to remember, with any of the mindset habits, it's getting your feelings involved. It's by figuring out what works best for you, your lifestyle, your schedule, everything like that, where you can start to just create, let's say, a routine out of it. You have a routine of daily habits for your physical. You have a routine of, daily habits for your mindset. And once you can start filling up your cup each and every day, guess what? That's when you can really start devoting to become the best version of yourself mentally and physically, and really start helping out others as you pour more out into them. So hopefully you guys got some value from today's episode. Keep this in mind, whether it's the physical habits, whether it's the mindset habits, with anything, just be open-minded. Give it a try, right? Figure out what works best for you, what resonates with you. And once you can say, oh man, like I maybe it's walking and think about things I'm grateful for, or maybe it's journaling. I like that. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel a little bit more, positive, and I can express more love and compassion out to others. Guess what? That right there is the feeling that we're after. So continue to do whatever technique or strategy that helped you feel that way. Because if you can start showing up each and every day in every aspect of your life, home, career, etc., with that feeling, that's how we're going to make the world a better place.